If you're wondering how to set yourself up on the path to homeownership in your 20s, I've got tips that helped many of our young and not so young clients to get their first home or second home or investment property. Number one helpful hint is have good credit. Yourself a credit card, use it smartly though, right? Make your payments on time. Don't use more than a third, or 30% is probably a more accurate description of that. Don't use more than 30% of the credit at one time, meaning don't carry a balance higher than 30%. Use it for everyday purchases like gas and food and pay it off. A lot of the cards will give you some rewards, so just be careful. Credit is a very double-edged sword. Now, there are other ways to boost your credit and make credit, create credit, and have good credit than getting a credit card, let's say. Talk to your local bank or your local credit union, or give us a call. We can give you some other hints. But if you have no credit, you're trying to establish it, most banks will allow you to use collateral. So let's say you give them $100, they'll give you a $100 credit card with that $100 used as collateral. It only takes a month or two to build credit up, so it can happen pretty fast, and then they'll give you an increase, and they'll even get your $100 back. Don't forget to get your $100 back. Another great tip is have multiple sources of income. A 9 to 5 is certainly great. Having one job will work well, but having a sideline or a side hustle or a part-time job, even if it's on the more creative side, but there are plenty of part-time jobs you can get fairly easily. Uber driving, Uber Eats, and that doesn't mean eat while you're driving, but I think you get the picture. Having that second or even third source of income going directly into a separate bank account showing that you're saving that money is proof positive for lenders that you are someone that will repay their loan. Okay, follow the money is the next one. Watch and spend your money carefully. Where does the money go? Watch it, keep it, maybe write it down, put it on an Excel sheet. It doesn't have to be too robust. Make a note. There's plenty of apps there. Watch your money. Just write down everything you spend in 1 week. And you'll be amazed how some money comes here, some money goes there, but it's super important for you to track your expenses and just watch where and how you're spending. Okay, next up is how do we create money without getting another job? How do we make more money without getting a second job or a third job or what have you? So let's check out our spending habits. Let's see, is there some habit that you have now that we could either curtail or stop or maybe make happen less often? Maybe perhaps you smoke, or perhaps you have a vice where you like to buy DVDs, or maybe you have a subscription you could cancel, or maybe instead of going to that special store to get that special coffee ever so often, try making something at home. Now, I'm not saying suffer, but a little bit of suffrage is okay. I'm not saying 100% cold turkey, stop doing everything you're doing, but look at what you're spending and you will be able to stop something or lower the amount of times you spend that money and start saving that way. So with all the money you're saving or now making, you could invest it as well. Now check out, I would Google compound interest. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the 8 wonders of the world, or is it the 8th wonder of the world? Now there are a lot of long-term investments, but there are also short-term investments where you can make some money quickly, where it won't have to take too long to wait for that compound interest to take effect. All right, tip number 4 is make sure your employment history is solid. Now, I'm not saying stay at a job you don't like, but there shouldn't be any gaps. A lender's gonna look for steady employment. Now, it's okay if you change jobs ever so often, that's fine. They don't really wanna see gaps. Now, you don't have to be at a certain job for a certain time. They do like to see 2 years plus. But if you're in the same industry and you switch jobs, or maybe you're in the same company and you switch jobs, it's not really a bad thing, and it's a different thing. It's not really the same thing. Is that the same way to say that thing 3 times? I think you catch my drift. All right, so one way around all of this is have a co-signer, maybe someone that trusts you and loves you and at least likes you, where they were willing to sign for you. And that works very well a lot of times as well. Especially if you happen to be living with someone who doesn't necessarily want you to continue living there, they'll help you by co-signing. All right, next tip is to have all your paperwork in order. That includes tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements. We're gonna need all of that, unfortunately. I call it the 2-2-2, but you might as well call it a 3-3-3 rule. Last 2 years or last 3 years of tax returns, the last 2 years of pay stubs, last 2 bank statements. That's pretty much the minimum that we're gonna ask for. I say we, our friends at North Star Mortgage, or whoever your lender might particularly be. Now, you do not have to have filed your tax returns. If you don't file your returns, I'm not sure if it's illegal. We'll ask the IRS about that, but you always can go refile or go back file. You can backdate your filings for the last 2 years. You buy the house and then, hey, go back to the way you've always done it. There's nothing illegal about refiling or filing something you didn't file before. All right, we got a bonus tip for you. You ever heard of buy one and rent one, right? Buy a multi-unit, a duplex, a triplex, even a quad. Now you can buy up to 4 units, live in one and rent out the others, and still be able to get a first-time homebuyer loan or traditional residential financing. You would literally, as it sounds, your tenants can pay your rent or pay the rent to you, which will end up paying your mortgage payment. Now, what's nice about this is you may not have a payment at all, or you can save the payment you would have been making anyway and put it into an investment or maybe to another property. Now, you do keep in mind, you are responsible for all the repairs. It is your house. You're responsible for managing it. You may want to hire a manager or have some buffer between you and the other tenants, or maybe you don't want to mention to them, hey, I'm the owner. You could say something like, hey, I'm the property manager, or you're the super in some cases. A lot of cases like our city and like some other cities in America where the super, the person that lives in the building, maybe gets a lower rent rate because they are going to manage the process. You are responsible for repairs, you're responsible for all noise complaints and collecting the rents. It is a lot easier than it sounds, but it's really not that hard. If you have a hint for me or for somebody else watching this video, I'd love to hear it. Give me a call, shoot me a text. Please put that in the comment box below. While you're in boxes below or while you're looking below, hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification so every time I get an idea indifferent where we want to make a video, you'll get notified of it. We do put out a lot of epic content, and we try to do a good job of it. If we're doing a good job, let us know. If not, let us know that too. But have a great day, everybody. I'm Gregory Martire, your local real estate expert here in the greater Philadelphia area. Thanks a lot.